So, you want to start freelancing in 2025 and every video that you watch says, go pitch the client. But which client and what to pitch and where to even start? And you might be watching this video as a student or somebody who's working in a 9 to 5 who wants more flexibility and also money. And everyone just says, just start freelancing. But no one tells you how exactly to get the first client and what exactly to even begin in. And when you have no portfolio, no niche, and even no idea where to begin. I've been there and I did not land it through some special portals. It was just through networking and through empathy. And they did not even need somebody at that time, but I approached with a lot of clarity and problem solving for them, and that's how we ended up working together. In this video, I'm going to cover step by step how I cracked my first client, what were my learnings, and if you are to start freelancing right now, where you should begin. Without Fiverr, without fake testimonials, and without wasting 6 months of overthinking. And watch this video till the end because I have compiled all my hacks very carefully so that by the end of this video, you exactly know where to start and what to do. Okay, so I'll start with the first thing, which is maybe a little controversial and maybe misunderstood as well. You don't have to go all niche down. You don't have to do that. I speak in a lot of videos how you have to be very specific with the skills you give. Try to understand what is the difference between the two. I'm trying to say that you don't have to stick to something right away. You can also be a freelancer in Notion consulting and you can be a freelancer in video editing as well. So you have to think, where can you add value? Where can you provide a solution to a client where that client could be struggling and you can come in and straight away help them. So that obsession about finding that niche and not getting started with freelancing is something that could paralyze you in your process of moving forward. So make sure that you don't obsess over it and rather start with something that you're confident in and try to offer those services to customers. The second thing is that people think that I should do some certifications or some courses, good in my skills, but that if you present that in front of a customer, they're not going to care about that. If you have a certification from Coursera, they don't care. They care about proof. Have you delivered a similar project in the past? Have you solved a similar problem in the past? If yes, show me. And you don't even need a fancy portfolio at times for that. You just need to show the proof. I'll give you an example how I cracked one of the really well-paying freelance gigs for myself. I actually worked, the first freelance gig on Upwork for me was one where I had to work on an Airtable project and the client did not know that they'll end up using Airtable. So I was the one who suggested them the tool and they're still it's been I think 3-4 years now and they're still using that whole setup that I created for them. So that became a success story for me. And even though it did not pay me that well because it was my first project on Upwork, so I did not ask for a lot of money. But that example, what I did was I morphed the details a little bit and I created a Loom video out of that. And that proof I used to show to further clients that this is something, this was the chaos that they were dealing with, that this client was dealing with. And I was able to clean all of that up. And this is the new Airtable with the dashboard that I've created. So this is similar to what I can do for you. I can try and understand all your past workflows and the way you work, etc. as well, the way your team works, etc. as well, and then try to come up with a clean solution and with adoption of the product as well. I spoke that language that they needed to hear and I gave them example of my past work as well. Now, how much that client paid me, that doesn't matter to this new client, right? But the proof that I was able to show them that I can do the job, that is what matters here. So now, a takeaway for you here, the action item that I want you to note down for yourself is don't wait for the first client to pay you or anything. Just make up a sample project, even if it is a made up thing, to show that you can do the job, that displays your skill, puts it up on display that, as a proof that I can use, let's say, Notion or I can do web development. Where is the proof? Create that and make that as a sample that you will send to your next potential customer. The third thing, and one of the mistakes that usually new freelancers make is that they would pitch themselves like a salesperson. And yes, you need to be good at sales, but what is being good at sales? Good at sales means that you're understanding the problem or the need of the person in front of you and then talking to them based on what they would need. So that's how you have to talk about yourself as well. My strategy usually is that I ask a lot of questions. Okay, I go in depth and try to understand where could this person be struggling, where could this team be struggling, how are they handling this certain thing, what kind of tools are they using, why are they not using this. So when I go deep in, they see that I am really interested in it, they see that I can understand them, and they see that I can find a solution to them as well. So this strategy has opened doors for me into places where they did not even need a freelancer, and I was able to show my interest. And later, some months or some even years later, they come up and say that, hey, you asked the right questions and you understand how things work, do you want to come and help us? So this is how you build long-term relationships as well. And in freelancing, relationships do matter. So make sure that you don't just pitch yourself as a salesperson, you actually market yourself as somebody who's genuinely interested in how the potential client or that company is working and how you can solve their problems. The fourth one, which again, I have made videos on this, and maybe if you want to skip this point, it's completely fine. But if you want to be a well paid and a high ticket kind of a freelancer, then skip Fiverr and freelancer.com. So I feel that if you're getting started, then it's great to get that confidence, but the gigs on freelancer.com and Fiverr are not very high ticket, and they're very short ones, like maybe 3 days, 5 days, even 20 days work. But I believe in retainer sort of models, in longer term relationships with the clients that I work with, and also with the flexibility and not working on more than 2 or 3 clients at one point in time, because then it gets very messy, and it's more of a headache, and you actually started freelancing to get flexibility and not to get more headache than even a job, right? So I suggest that you maybe try it out, and if it suits the kind of work that you do, which is mostly either creative work or tinier work that you want to do maybe just for some days when you're free, then it's great. But if you want freelancing to be your style of work for the next many years, then Fiverr and Freelancer may not be the best platforms for you. Go for LinkedIn. Make sure that your LinkedIn digital presence is absolutely on fleek. Second is go on Upwork as well. The initial few weeks, months can be very difficult, but once you get your first and second client, after that it's going to be a smooth ride. So invest your time into these really well-paying platforms that are going to stick with you for many years, not just for some days and not just going to give you some small gigs here and there. The fifth point is more around mindset change. So I feel, try to think of yourself, yes, you are a freelancer, but try to think of yourself as somebody who's not just going to get hired. You're going to be somebody who is going to offer help to companies and customers in need. So how could you just be thrown into the fire and you have no context, and maybe at times you don't even get an orientation because you're not going for a full-time job, etc. But how can you help the company where you go in? How can you actually try to understand where they could be needing help and what questions to ask them, so that you know that you can help them with in return to those answers as well. So you have to go in smartly, and you have to be a problem solver, and you have to make sure that you don't just wait for things being given to you in your hand, like in terms of information and even tasks to be done, but how can you take a lead and be a problem solver there. So I hope this video gave you some clarity and some steps to get started on. Definitely what you should do is try and sit down and spend time with yourself and try to think what is something that I already know or I'm passionate about and I can quickly learn, and those are the things that I can offer to others. So be it Notion, be it Trello, be it be it video editing, be it graphic designing, what specific thing can I pick and get started with? So don't obsess over like finding a niche that I want to be a graphic designer. Don't think about that yet. If you can help in graphic design, just go and start helping already. So that will start giving you that freelancer mindset, and then you can learn a new skill and become an expert in that eventually as well. And we are in 2025. You don't have to go in like spend 15 years to become an expert before giving that expertise. If you think you can help somebody, just go get started. If you're feeling confident, go and try it out, maybe on a pro bono basis or on a free basis also in the beginning. And then when you feel confident and when the client also has some more trust in you, that's when you can start asking for money as well in return. So beyond this, I have also compiled some resources, especially the script that you can use, how you talk to a customer, how do you talk to a client. If you want that, you can comment below the word freelance and I can forward you that script. And apart from this, make sure that you watch my video that is related to how I got my first remote job. That is also a very similar story that I talked about in this video related to freelancing, because it talks about how we talk to global companies and how we place ourselves and how we present ourselves. So definitely check that video out as well. And apart from freelancing, other side hustles that you could learn and you could do completely online, I've talked about that also, the 12 side hustles that I tried and 4 I succeeded in. So watch this video for that. And if you have any questions about freelancing, if you're getting stuck anywhere, please comment and ask me, and I usually try answering all the questions. So looking forward to your comments and see you in another video. Bye bye.